Hello, this is Alessandrina, and today I wanted to share with you a little practice that is very, very simple. It's also very advanced in many ways because the concept of the ego and the I and dissolving the ego and the I can feel a little daunting to some people. It can feel kind of overwhelming at times or scary to just say that the I, the ego, is not who we are, and therefore to choose to dissolve it and to operate from consciousness outside of an individuated I with its aversions and attachments and personal preferences. So this is not for everyone, and you might appreciate it, and you might benefit from it, and you might like to explore it, and you might just simply experiment with it and see how it works for you. So this process is essentially any time that something is triggering you, that you feel fear, that you have a negative belief about something, that you start hearing a voice in your head, essentially reacting to a situation, and being in judgment, or you feel an expectation of yourself or the expectation of others that you're carrying internally, that you're reacting to internally, you can allow yourself to be in that energy, to feel all of what is coming up, however it's coming up. So ultimately, that would be a state of contraction and survival where you don't feel at ease, you don't feel peaceful, you don't feel grounded or present to the reality that you're in. You're replaying out something, right? If we have a fear, a belief, an expectation, a judgment, we're in our ego. We're in the past. We're not consciously experiencing the present moment with all that it contains and all the potentials that we have available in that present moment. If we're in negative emotions, we are essentially replaying out the past. We're using the past to evaluate and experiencing the present moment through the lens of the past. So this practice is as simple as in those moments saying, I don't exist. And like I said, this is very advanced, meaning that for some people saying I don't exist is going to lead their analytical mind to say, well, that makes no sense. That's crazy. What do you mean? What does it mean to say I don't exist? I do exist. I am an ego. I have a life. I am on this planet doing the things that I'm doing. So yes, that's all true. We all have ego. We all have personalities, and we're all experiencing ourselves as souls in physical bodies doing things. And ultimately, that is not who we are. That is not what is happening. So when you say, I don't exist, it's not a process of suppression, repression, imagining. It's simply allowing yourself to realize that I, that ego, that is generating those negative thoughts and negative emotions and misapprehensions of reality, that I doesn't exist, that I is all created. It's based on conditioning. It's not who you are. It's not reality. It's not your soul. And so when we declare, I don't exist, we're helping connect the dots. We're helping realize that I does not exist. And we're not punishing the I. We're not judging the I. We're not saying ego is bad. We're simply saying that if the I is generating I thoughts and I emotions that are negative and that are bringing about a sense of contraction, survival, and distress, and worry and anxiety, that it can be helpful to temporarily realize, to help us connect to the reality that we are not this I, that this I doesn't exist. So when you say I don't exist, it's not that your soul doesn't exist. It's not that you're not existing. It's that the I doesn't exist. So I don't exist helps you to connect the dots and to to help and support in the dissolution of your ego. So that's a practice that Dexter and I like to sometimes do, and that we find helpful, and that we came upon in a very spontaneous way. It's not something that was taught to us. It's just something that, as we work on dissolving our own egos, we have those kinds of insights, and we experiment with them. And when we experiment with them and we do feel some relief and some clearing of ego patterns that don't serve us, then we like to continue to use these processes and to share them with others. And so that is the intention for this video today, is to share this process with you, for you to experiment with it, to explore it, and to see how you like it. If it helps you, if it gives you more insights about your ego and the dissolution of your ego, and if it essentially brings about less pain and more joy and more peace and more happiness, because that is the whole purpose of dissolving the ego. We're not intending to dissolve the ego because the ego is bad or wrong. We're really intending to dissolve the ego and to support anyone who wants to dissolve their ego, so that they can experience more joy and more love and more happiness and freedom and fulfillment and peace in their lives. And really, the only thing that separates us from the joy, the peace, the love, and the happiness in life is the ego. That is, it is the source of all suffering. And so when we learn, in whichever way we learn, and experiment with different processes, how to dissolve the ego and how to feel relief from the ego and from the pain and suffering of the ego, that's a wonderful thing. I hope this is helpful, and I look forward to hearing your comments. And hopefully the sound level is good today on the video. We had some issues with my new computer that was not picking up on the sound the way that would have been preferable. So it's important. Thank you for your feedback on that. Your feedback is important. It helps us improve the quality of your experience as a listener, and that's very, very important to us. Sending you much love.